Open Your Eyes is brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.
Good morning and welcome to Open Your Eyes.
Start your morning right. I am John Palacio.
And I'm Marlene Cuellar, and thank you for joining us this morning.
It's a beautiful Wednesday morning out.
Yes,
it's hump day.
It is. Halfway there.
But it is hot. It's hot. It is hot outside. I could tell you that much.
Didn't spend that much time outside. Don't know.
We had some rains. We had some rains earlier. Yeah, we had some rains earlier this morning, but nonetheless, it was just to probably cool down the dust or just to say, you know what, you want to get hot today, you know, something along that line. But it is a hot morning, a hot Wednesday morning. Nonetheless, we're in a lovely country, and the best thing about it is that we've got you and I, all right? And so, as per usual, Marlene, the first thing we do is actually to break down what occurred in the newscast last night, and there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
There is that situation brewing there in San Pedro, which is it's a very unfortunate situation. I've been looking at that story over and over and over again. There is a land situation brewing in Santa Cruz. There is so many things to talk about, Marlene, but I'll tell you what, there is the big thing, and I think it is one of the most important stories that we could actually touch on for this morning, and it's not necessarily a depletion of oxygen, but oxygen running low at the KHMH. There's so many people in the ICU, and these people are actually on high oxygen, and it's a tough time. It's a tough situation that we're running through, especially with our National Referral Hospital.
Yeah. No, I think that we've talked so much about the hospitalizations that we've seen increasing over the past month, I would say. And we would definitely know that part of the regimen for treatment is oxygen. You know, I go back to when India had their outbreak, and we were talking to physicians that were working there, and they shared that perspective of they had a full shortage. I think at the KHMH they were running low. They seem to feel that they have it under control for now, but definitely can't handle many more cases coming in requiring oxygen. So those who are there are getting the treatment that they need. But yeah, it continues to be a concerning situation when we look at the severity of the symptoms that people are having, the number of unvaccinated people that are hospitalized and losing their lives, and even taking an honest look at or breakthrough infections and those who are requiring hospitalizations and losing their life.
Exactly where I wanted to go next, whereby we did do an interview yesterday with our friend, our buddy, Dr. Cuellar, who was telling us that, you know what, they are concerned. There are concerns coming out from, of course, from the doctor's perspective, saying that there are a few breakthrough infections and, of course, deaths that that put one to wonder what the situation is. And like he mentioned in his interview, that he's not speaking from the perspective, or he's not at the right to speak from the perspective of the Ministry of Health, but he's also asking that, you know what, let's tell people what's going on.
Yeah, and I think that the most important thing we can do is keep on bringing the facts to people as to what the situation is. And with the data aggregated in the way it is, where you can see how many people are vaccinated, how many people have had first dose, and how many people have had 2 vaccinations and their 2 weeks of period post vaccination. I think we can see the data for ourselves, and so it's just being able to understand it better. I appreciate that he's put it into perspective.
Yes.
And really looking at the fact that people who are high risk are still high risk. And that's something to take into consideration, because we all have loved ones who are highly vulnerable to severe COVID. You know, if those loved ones are vaccinated, and it doesn't mean that they can let down their guard entirely, and it does mean that you have to be extremely careful with how much you expose them. So if you have somebody at home who's on treatment for cancer, or if they have heart problems, or if they are also, suffering with diabetes and hypertension and struggling to get those under control, those risks are still there for that. And any other illness will only complicate those already. So, but we'll be taking a deep dive into understanding more about breakthrough infections in our show today. So that's going to be a great way for us to get some questions answered. But I think one of the stories too, John, and it was a late breaking story, which we're hoping to get more details on tonight, is the murder of a 75-year-old taxi driver in Ladyville. And, we were talking in here in the studio, Stephen and I, just how sad it is when you see hardworking people executed in this manner. We don't know the motives. We don't know the progress of the investigation so far. But it is definitely a tragic loss. And when you think especially about taxi drivers, they develop relationships with so many people. You see them, they're out doing their work and work very hard to be able to earn their living. So condolences to the family, and we hope to have more answers, definitely by our newscast at 6 p.m.
Indeed, especially like you mentioned with taxi drivers, we call them uncle, like if they're your next door neighbor or a friend or buddy, or because that's how they seem to you, especially when it comes to those of the elderly who are still running around and trying to make a living, and then listening or hearing news such as that. It's a very eye-opening situation. Like, what are we thinking, But nonetheless, like you mentioned, we'll be taking a look at an in-depth look of that story later on in our 6 o'clock news report. But so many things to break down, indeed, Marlene. We're looking at the vaccination numbers. Those numbers are actually going up, and exactly where we would like for that to go. Daily vaccination report here as of Monday, October 4th. We were at persons 12 to 17 years old, 25,679. And let me see here. All right, so this is persons 18 years or older. That was a one-day total, I'd think, of 5,377. Now, total vaccinations, nearly at 200,000, but fully vaccinated, nearly at 140,000. So we are going up with respect to vaccinations, and the Ministry of Health continue to have vaccination centers popping up at every corner.
The free testing site was interesting to take a look at that. Indeed. How that's going.
Indeed. There are a lot of people actually driving under the Belize Civic Center, driving under there and doing their thing. I feel, especially listening to Dr. Baer yesterday, and taking a closer look. It was yesterday, the day before yesterday, taking a closer look as to the people who are actually manning those stations in those areas. We know that we're stifling when it comes to our nurses at the KHMH and elsewhere. So what they're doing is that they're actually getting other folks to try and man these situations or these stations, and so to better curtail and dealing with the public. That's a great initiative.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's an opportunity. I mean, we're looking at this both ways. You do get a free test when you go to public clinics, but you have to meet certain criteria, and there is an overwhelming number of persons who are there waiting. And I think the concern for many, I know for me, is if I do have to get tested, I may be around someone who's positive while waiting. This gives people a great opportunity to be able to kind of just get in, confirm their status. Maybe they don't have all the symptoms, but they're able to kind of know what they're dealing with, and they have the results in hand. Just to be very clear, I know the minister said you cannot go for the purpose of getting a test for travel. So in other words, if you're going to be traveling, you're going to have to find another way to get your test done, paying at one of the many institutions that now offer testing. But there you have it. There are 2 free testing sites that are up, and that's a look at the one in Belize City. In Belize City.
There's also one at the Civic, I think the Civic Center in Belmopan. In Belmopan as well. In the city of Belmopan, there is a testing area as well. And so if you feel that you need to utilize these areas, then please go on out there and you do that. They are free of cost. Free of cost. Now, in our country where we find things to be struggling, we've actually have testing here free of cost. So if you need to go on out to these places to get tested, then please do so as well.
All right. Well, we're going to get moving into our show for today.
Yes.
Get you started with some motivation so you can really start your morning right. So let's get going into our Eye on the News. And our Eye on the News, taken from dailyom.com, goes like eye opener, sorry. Yes. Woo.
I thought it was something new.
No. Eye on the News is Monday. What day are we at? Wednesday.
We're at Wednesday.
Okay, so we really need this motivation, don't we?
Yes, we do.
If you can't get away on a vacation, turn your home into an instant vacation place. Throughout our lives, most of us are led to believe that relaxation is best pursued outside of the home. As a result, we spend months anticipating week-long vacations, seldom fully appreciating the leisure time we are blessed with on a more regular basis. It is possible, however, to re-experience the same utterly relaxed state you slip into while on holiday within your home's walls. The feelings of serenity you enjoy during a vacation are a product of your outlook rather than your locale. You give yourself permission to enjoy yourself and unwind while on vacation. If you find it difficult to ignore the temptation to simply fall back into your usual schedule, consider that relaxation should occupy a prominent place on your to-do list. You deserve to take you time and to care for yourself, even during life's busy periods. While you may not always be able to get away from it all, you can still nurture yourself and regain your peace of mind.
There might be some folks looking at their TVs from the side of the eye. You know what we call cross-eye? Because some folks might say, I am not able to do that. My thought of a relaxation or a relaxation vacation comes maybe without the kids. Or it has to be that I take a trip to the States. Or it has to be that I go somewhere in the Caribbean or Central America. Look, I am one to fall in line with exactly what this is. Because for me, Mark, this might shock into you, but I'm one of those people that feel like once you have to travel for a vacation, it's just tiresome having to come back home. Like you need to go right back into another vacation.
True.
And
you need the vacation.
You need
after
a vacation after your
vacation.
vacation. Then you think about the money factor. You think about everything that's going on in the house. You think about that, you know what? I left it dirty and now I have to clean it because I was rushing out.
Yeah.
So, you know, I find, when last you walked behind your house?
What
Like
do you mean walk
a trip
behind my
around
house?
your yard or something to that extent.
I have a dog, so that requires
That's
me to do
regular. You know, but simply for me, you know, I feel so relaxed when I have to go in front of my house because I have like fever grass and I have
Yeah.
like pepper and whatnot. So that's to me, that to me goes a long way. It's like a vacation. You go on there, you go in there, you pick some weeds. It's not work, it's relaxation. I feel that vacation is relaxation. And so therefore, I'm one of those who fit directly into what this is.
Yeah.
Home vacation is good. And I set out my my hammock. I lay down in my hammock. And I'm on vacation.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. And, you know, so I'm right in line with what this eye opener is saying. I see your facial expression, don't tell me.
I'm laughing because this is easy for me. Like this is really, I learned very early to be able to kind of build that sanctuary for yourself.
Yeah, you have to.
You know that.
You have to.
I'm
Yes.
very,
Yes.
despite what people think, I'm very introverted. I kind of need that space to recharge. And when weekends come around, it's just a perfect opportunity for me to be able to do that.
Indeed.
Get to things that I want to enjoy doing. And it can be
Yeah.
anything. It could be, you know, sitting and watching a series on Netflix. We all do it.
You know what?
Or if you want to read a book, or if you want to work on a project that you have. It's part of your recharge. What I think is important, and what I know a lot of people, especially mothers, my bias is because I know more mothers, what they have a hard time with is letting go of household duties. We all do it. We grew up that way. Saturday is shopping day, and then cleaning day, and Sunday is cooking day, and then what time do you have to rest in between all of this or recharge for your week ahead? I say to myself, and you know, I make no apologies for it. I could be judged, But sometimes it's okay to leave the dishes in the sink.
Sometimes it is indeed.
Sometimes you need that time to kind of just sit, read your book, relax, listen to some music, and the dishes aren't going to go anywhere. You're still going to have to do it.
You're going to have to do it.
I get it. I get
yeah.
it. But is it necessary for you to use that last bit of energy
to-
on your Saturday evening to do that? And so it's decided. And if somebody comes to your house and judges you for your dishes, they're not your friend. Especially if they know you work hard.
Oh my gosh. But
and you walk into somebody's house and they're like, I'm so sorry, the house is so dirty. And I'm like, you have three kids running around. Why are you, that requires more energy.
But I'll spill the secret. If you ask her what she's going to, so Mar, what are we going to do this weekend? Well, John, I'm going to sit down in my house and I'm going to relax. Yeah. And that's her vacation.
Cocooning, that's what it is. I refresh. Because vacations can be exhausting.
It can be
exhausting. When you put in travel, whether locally or internationally.
Driving. Man, these things are actually put more stress. For me, it could be very stressful to be driving out there, especially if everybody is going somewhere or having to meet an amount of people, COVID times. These things are very, so I'm one for vacationing at home. I'm sorry. Dad, where are we going this weekend? You know where we're going? Into the Blue Room. That's a big vacation.
All right. Now, if you actually are going to get out of your house or the city, let's find out from Derek Redun, or forecaster at the National Met Service, what we can expect for today.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And you don't sound like you're in vacation mode. You sound work mode. But nonetheless, let's find out if some folks will be able to go on vacation anytime soon. What's the general situation for today? What can we expect?
Okay, there's a tropical wave approaching our area, and it will cause an increase in showers tonight.
Oh, wow. But that could definitely be some excitement for people. So let's find out what the 24-hour forecast will be then.
Okay, sorry. For today, we're expecting sunny skies with cloudy spells. A few showers or thunderstorms are expected mainly over the south and over inland areas today.
Wow.
Tonight, skies will be mostly cloudy, and we expect showers to increase and spread to the rest of the country tonight.
All right. And the temperatures for today?
Okay, temperatures today, 88 along the coast, 93 inland, 80 degrees up in the hills. The lows for tonight, 77 along the coast, 72 inland, 66 up in the hills.
All right. And in our extended forecast, sir?
Okay, for tomorrow, we're expecting a cloudy day with some showers and thunderstorms over most areas. And then tomorrow night, showers will decrease a bit, but not stop totally. So a kind of wet day tomorrow.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. How early?
When we look at that radar picture, it looks, is that what heading our way? What's down by Panama right now?
On the radar, you see the radar, you said?
Yeah, a little after Jamaica,
it's off by Jamaica right now.
The radar doesn't show anything much. It shows some small showers out at sea mostly.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But looking at the satellite, there are some cloudiness and thunderstorms coming our way there, north of eastern Honduras at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And how early can we start to see these showers affecting us?
Tonight, after dark, I would say.
Okay. Should we be concerned about flooding?
It is a possibility down south, so I think tonight maybe we will put out a flood advisory or something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
For the evening forecast.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we've been warned. Forecaster Rodon, thank you so very much for joining us this morning.
Okay, you're welcome.
Have a great day.
Hey, you too.
Bye.
All right. So there we go. Now we know exactly what to expect with the
Rains
weather.
are coming.
We should be, rains are coming. Tropical wave will be crossing the country. And so therefore, that's going to be bringing some rains with us. But nonetheless, we've got a packed show lined up for you. We touched on it slightly this morning. But the first topic is going to be, what is the fatality risk for people who are fully COVID-19 vaccinated? Dr. Hidalgo will be sitting in with us this morning to break that down, to tell us exactly what's going on.
Really interested to find out more about these breakthrough infections and what our risks are. And then the second part of our show, it's not a conversation I say that we'd love to have, but it definitely is something that these stories need to be heard.
Yeah.
So we have two persons joining us who are going to tell us about their COVID story that took the lives of their loved ones. We have over 400 families mourning the loss of people that they love dearly who died to COVID, and we'll have two of them joining us to tell us about their story.
All right. And in the third segment for this morning, have you considered going vegan or wonder what it is? In the third segment, Vegan Bites, he'll be in with us. He'll be preparing some delicious cuisine and also be sharing with us the health benefits of going vegan. So we've got those stories. Actually, we've got those segments and more for you. We're about to take a break. But just before we do, I don't know. I'm in news mode. Hello, believe it. But we're about to take the break. Just before we do, though, we've got a birthday shout out. And we've got to say happy birthday to none other than Vashti Mogale. Vashti, happy birthday to you. We're loving the colors, loving the shades, loving the dew. All the best coming from your family, from all of us right here at Channel 5. And all of us right here on Open Your Eyes. Happy birthday. We're about to take a break. When we get back, Dr. Hidalgo will be in with us to have a discussion. Stay with us. We'll be back.
I'm a little sleepier than usual today, so if I make...
It's a fact that with Smart, you get truly unlimited everything. Only with Smart, you get unlimited data anytime. While with the other guy, it's only double data on weekends. With unlimited data every day with Smart, there's no need to wait. So, it's a fact that our unlimited plans beat the competition. Stop being measured and told when to use your data and get unlimited talk, text, and data. Experience the true unlimited plans with Smart. That's a fact. Make the switch and live smart.
Good morning, sweetie. It's time for school.
Are you a teacher or public sector employee who is thinking of owning your new home? Get the keys to your new home with Belize Bank's all-inclusive mortgage, the best financing option in Belize for your new home purchase or construction. Inclusive of all mortgage-related fees, no down payment, affordable terms, amazingly low interest rates. Visit our nearest branch to speak to one of our financial advisors to discuss how you can be one step closer to owning your new home. Some conditions apply.
The continued fight against COVID-19 requires the continued practice of public health measures across all sectors and in every community. Frequent and proper hand washing, wearing face masks, and physical distancing. Do you know who is not physical distancing? The Aedes aegypti mosquito. Did you know that dengue is the most common mosquito-borne viral disease in the world? So let's get to work. Use window and door screens to keep mosquitoes out. Change the water in vases and scrub inside surfaces to remove mosquito eggs. Avoid using saucers with potted plants to prevent collection of water. Securely cover water barrels and drums with mosquito netting and properly fitted covers. Scrub the inside walls of water barrels and drums with detergent 1 to 2 times per week. Walk around the outside of your home and remove or overturn containers that can collect water and become breeding sites. Mosquitoes only need a small amount of water to lay their eggs. Remove unwanted cans, bottles, buckets, or used tires. Other items still in use must be properly stored in covered areas to avoid water settling in them. Clean roof gutters and air conditioner trays. Debushing and removing tall grass from around your home or establishment is also key to reducing mosquito populations. Fight the bite and protect yourself and your family too from mosquito-borne diseases.
At Belize Diagnostic Center, we offer FDA-approved PCR testing for COVID-19. Get your results as quickly as 1 hour. Don't risk getting exposed to COVID-19 by going elsewhere. We take appointments, or we can come to your home or office using our concierge service with no additional fees. We have 10 locations countrywide. Call or WhatsApp us at 613-TEST. That is 613-8378 to schedule your test today.
Today's COVID update is brought to you by Fulltech Systems, your technology center, where you'll come for the price but stay for the service.
Welcome back to Open Your Eyes. We're moving now into our first segment. And like we had mentioned, it is a conversation that surrounds the fatality rates or risk of people who are actually fully vaccinated. And to discuss this with us, we've got our friend as well, Dr. Jorge Hidalgo, who's an internist at the Belize Healthcare Partners. Sir, good morning and welcome.
Good morning, and thank you for having me back.
Oh, definitely.
Again.
It's always nice to have you.
Yes.
And I think that having the conversation, especially with professionals like yourself, is exactly what we need to try and make breakthroughs throughout our country. People need to understand and people need to believe that what we're saying and what is being shown across the world is actually what's going on. And so therefore, let's jump on into this. And what we've been seeing, especially on the daily reviews from the Ministry of Health with respect to the vaccination rates and those who've been vaccinated, and of course those who've been fully vaccinated and losing lives. We are seeing not necessarily high numbers, but at least you're seeing one, you're seeing two. Can you break down to us what's the situation as we speak?
Yes. Well, first of all, I want to start just saying that we are almost to reach 5 million of deaths around the world. I mean that the unfortunate more or less 20 months in the pandemic, we are still the pandemic is still very dynamic, not only in Belize but around the world. I mean that we are not an exception. And by last week, we were expecting around the world, the World Health Organization expectation was to around the world, at least all the countries, reach 10% of the population being vaccinated. But unfortunately, for more or less 50 countries, this is not the case because of lack of access to or inequity in the distribution of the vaccine. I mean that that says puts against us in Belize in a very lucky position because we have vaccines available. And what you say, or how you start the statement is true around the world. We've seen that some of people that are fully vaccinated, they can still get infected, they can still go to a hospital, but a very small amount end in the ICU, and also they can lose their lives, and that is a reality around the world. But by far, if you see the numbers, by far, if you are fully vaccinated, it will reduce the amount of transmission of the virus. It will prevent you at least to get sick badly and end in the ICU. I mean that vaccination is definitely one of the most important tools we have among other tools.
Yeah. I think that's so important to say because we have to keep on emphasizing that those who get severely ill and those who lose their lives, the majority are persons who are not vaccinated.
Right.
And so when we see our chart of people of COVID deaths, the majority for us in the color code that they have are red. Unfortunately, because there are persons who are hesitant to get vaccinated or against vaccinations, they hone into these little green graphics to say, oh, see, it doesn't work.
Exactly.
Stop telling me to get vaccinated. And so I think that's part of why we want to have the conversation today, to be honest about what the risks are, what the probabilities are if I am fully vaccinated, and how do I know whether or not it's going to be effective enough on me to save my life?
Yeah, well, the first thing we need to say is that we are fully vaccinated after we got the 2 vaccines and also after 2 weeks of getting the second dosage. Before, with the first dosage, we will have a certain amount of protection, but we are not fully protected. I mean, we need to be have the second dosage of the either Astra, Pfizer, or either Johnson & Johnson of single dosage, and 2 weeks after, then we consider someone fully vaccinated. Before that, no. And then saying that also, as we've been saying over and over, the vaccine is not 100%. Doesn't offer 100% protection. Mean that even if you are vaccinated, we encourage the population to adhere to all the different other measures that we've been over and over discussing: the proper use of mask, the proper hand washing, and also avoid being on crowded areas, and trying to make sure that we are in areas with good ventilation.
Yeah. So let's look at what we do know so far about breakthrough infections. Are there demographics or groups that are more vulnerable to getting breakthrough infections and severe COVID-19?
Yeah, well, you know that probably one of the better examples of exercising this type of groups is Israel. Israel, as you saw, as we know, they completed vaccination of the population early in the year, but also they start to see those breakthrough infections early than everybody else. Then what they did is that they say, okay, we need to start to give boosters. In particular for the vulnerable population. That means people over 60, people with an immunocompromised condition, people with pulmonary conditions, people with congestive heart failure, or other younger people with some other immunocompromised condition. And they just published the results and in New England Journal of Medicine, and it's start now to reduce the amount of infection in those people. Meaning that, of course, probably that is going to be the direction at some point everybody will have, and also as a recommendation of the World Health Organization that a booster is going to be needed initially on the most vulnerable population. Of course, the goal is to try to vaccinate as more people as possible around the world.
Yeah. Let's go through these vulnerable populations again.
Yes. That means the vulnerable population, and this is important, because sometimes people go to the office and say, I have this condition, and I thought I'm not a candidate for the vaccine.
Yeah.
But everybody who in the elderly population, people with any medical condition, that means pulmonary problems, people with congestive heart failure, people with diabetes, people with obesity. Those are the most of the patients that they need to get vaccinated because they are more vulnerable. And then if those patients are ending in an ICU or ending in the hospital, the chances of due to that they are more prone to get seriously ill, and also more chances to die due to that. No?
Can you explain that a bit more from a treatment perspective? Why, when you have these, we call them comorbidities, but I go in with already a condition, diabetes, hypertension, a heart condition, maybe I'm on cancer treatment. Why, when I get COVID, even if I'm vaccinated, being treated in a hospital, it becomes more challenging?
The situation with COVID is that it will affect your ability to respond to an infection. I mean that if you have been treated for cancer, if you are treating for diabetes, or if you have a underlying lung condition or heart condition, then your immune system is already weak. Then when we enter the COVID, have several phases, but one of the most critical phases, and most of the time we as the treating physicians, we want to avoid, is we want to prevent these patients go into we call it an inflammatory cascade, where the COVID mounts an overwhelming inflammation in the body, that is very difficult to deal with. And then if you, in a normal circumstances, but if you are already with an immune problem or any condition that weakens your immune system, then your ability to respond to that is going to be really bad, and then more chances for you to die.
When you talk, just 1 second, just because I wanted to get your response on this. The idea of booster shots after 6 months, there's different advice for different vaccinations, is one that is looked upon with much debate because of the idea of vaccine equality. In other words, the common statement is no one is safe until everyone is safe. And that has been a position held by international health organizations. Do you think it will change now that we're seeing vulnerable populations that are vaccinated still facing severe COVID and potentially death?
It will change at some point, because of course, again, back to the point that we want, the main thing is to try to achieve most of the population to get vaccinated. And then that's why, in a sense, we are prioritizing the booster at this point. You know, the priority at this point is the most vulnerable population. And I believe at some point that it will change.
Is there any science on boosters? The majority of lesions have AstraZeneca. If this is considered at some point in time, the booster shot, do we know about the necessity of booster shots for AstraZeneca?
Well, the necessity for AstraZeneca, for Pfizer and Moderna is there. No? I mean that, of course, most of the information we have is based on Pfizer and Moderna, but still we need to get a booster shot for AstraZeneca as well, because at the end of what we're going to experience is the waning of the immune system with the vaccination. I mean that we will need to definitely need a booster with any of those.
Yeah. Listening to you tells me one thing, and I think that the public needs to take it very important or very seriously, and it's to always know your health status, because we're talking about underlying conditions and whatnot. There are some people who would tell you that I am very skeptical of going out to take the vaccine because I don't know my health status. I don't know that if I take the vaccine, that something will rear its head. But there's a question that I'm frequently asked. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but people would ask the question, if I am I'm positive for COVID, but I don't know, I'm asymptomatic, I haven't been tested, and I go and I take the vaccine, what happens there? Is that a dangerous spot for me? What happens there?
No, it's not. It's not going to be any danger to get the vaccine. If the situation is, and we've been seeing cases like that the patients went to get the vaccine, and 5 days after they start with symptoms. Mean that they already incubating COVID. No? Then they got the vaccine, and then 5 days after they developed symptoms of COVID.
So they had COVID, didn't know, and got the shot.
Exactly. Exactly. And this is unfortunate. We're seeing more and more those type of cases. No. But back to the question that you have at the beginning, you see now how many people are going to say, you know what, doc, I am not, I don't know my health status, and I came to do a regular checkup because I want to take the vaccine. I want to know my health status. Of course, there are people that probably they want with the idea that if we found that probably they have diabetes or something like that, is going to be a contraindication for the vaccine, but that is not the case. No?
It's better that they know.
Exactly. It's better that they know, and also it's better knowing that, then even with more reason they need to get the vaccine.
If somebody have had COVID, not knowing, or the virus was actually in the incubation stage, and they received the vaccine, what happens to the efficacy of the vaccine? Does it lessen your chances, heighten your chances? What about?
Well, as I told you, if you got your first dosage, then you don't have that protection that we expect. No? I mean that we are not expecting with this first dosage that you'll be able to defend yourself. It will, even so, is a percentage of protection that you can get, but it's not going. We are not expecting a response from the vaccine to that. No?
Yeah.
Also, the vaccine is not going to aggravate nothing. The only situation is that, as you know, the vaccine, it have a reaction with people at the very beginning in many forms. Some, and depends on also the type of vaccine. Some of the vaccines, like you got the AstraZeneca, probably you will have some muscle ache, tiredness. Some people can spike fever for the initial 1 or 2 days. Some others no. I mean that it varies with people. But then those symptoms also it can mask the possibility of you having COVID, or it can make worse. No, depends on the severity of the COVID you got. No, 80% of people is still asymptomatic or very mild form of the condition. No?
You know, a year ago this time, just before the rollout of the vaccine, we were talking about herd immunity. The idea of reaching a certain percentage of a vaccinated population meant that this disease would be under control. Is it still believed that we can achieve herd immunity?
Well, right now, as we know, the dynamic of the virus is very, very difficult. No? And again, it varies with country to country. Also, as like a month ago, the numbers were escalating around the world. Just this week, we see, in a way, some signs of positive signs that the numbers are reducing around the world and the amount of deaths are reducing, but still very, very dynamic and very difficult to say. You know?
Yeah. I mean, and Delta changed it a lot.
And in a sense, definitely Delta, it came and changed a lot the behavior of the condition and the way we see it. You know?
At the onset of the pandemic, again, when you contracted the COVID, the incubation period was around what, 7 to 14 days. Is that the case right now with the Delta?
The Delta is more aggressive. No? I mean that we're seeing symptoms a little bit earlier.
Yeah. Duration like what, 3 days, 5 days?
Usually it's between 5 to 6 days. Right, that we start to see in those people that show symptoms. No?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Still, again, 80% of patients that they are not going to have symptoms at all. No? They will be completely asymptomatic.
And that's key for testing too, because a lot of times people are testing early, like they find out they got exposed yesterday and they're going for a test the next day.
Exactly.
Yeah. Can you explain that for us? The testing. When is the right time to test after I have been exposed to a positive case?
Yeah, more or less we usually say 72 hours to have the first test, no? And after
so 3 days.
3 days.
And after that, it will depend on symptoms. Some people say, okay, if you have, especially if you are in a building situation, then they need to be tested for contact tracing immediately, because we don't know for sure if somebody else have been exposed or incubation period. No? I mean, it varies also depends on the exposure level and where you are working.
But it's important because I may test negative the day after exposure,
Exactly.
but 3 days later I might actually be positive.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's one question I have, but let me come back to immunity very quickly because this is a question I get a lot. If you have had COVID, have you built up sufficient immunity to not need a vaccine? What is the situation with natural immunity?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, there are two important things right here. One, you will have some immunity for a while. We don't know how long, and we don't know also in terms of antibodies, what are the magic number. And probably that's the most important thing. There are no a magic number of antibodies. If I can say, if I have 16, or if I have 6, there are no, of course, if you have a good amount of antibodies, if you are able to measure, then it will give you a certain level of security. But if you ask me, Doc, what should be my numbers of antibodies that I feel safe? There are no a magic number at this point. Mean that if you contracted COVID, we advise that you need to get vaccinated.
Okay.
Now, the time varies. No? Before we say, okay, if you get COVID, you need to get your vaccine 3 months or 6 months after, at the very beginning. Those days is not the case. You can get your vaccines 2 weeks after the last symptoms.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that has shortened as well.
Yeah.
But the case of natural immunity, I guess, ties to the idea of reinfection.
Yes.
Have we seen reinfections anywhere in the world or in Belize?
We'll see reinfections. I have a friend that have been contracted COVID more than 3 times.
Wow.
I mean,
Locally?
Not locally.
Okay.
But locally, you have people that have been probably have a second or infection already. You know.
Wow. Well, there goes the idea of natural immunity.
Yeah, I mean that you can contract COVID as 2 or 3 times.
Is it like dengue, where the more you get it, the more severe it could be?
Well, this part of the science, we're still learning a lot. No?
Okay.
We're still learning. No, it's not like you say, okay, you will get COVID now, and then probably your second event is going to be worse or probably less severe than this time. We don't know as yet.
Okay.
Yesterday in an interview, Dr. Cuellar was asked about the no movement Sundays, and if it was positive, if it was what the effects of it would be, and he did mention that we're not going to see that forthwith. We're not going to see that today or tomorrow. It's going to be something for the next few weeks, and also with the expectation of flattening the curve or where we are at this point. What is your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's good that you ask, because as we mentioned at the beginning, most of the things we are seeing with COVID, and especially the strategies, is a comprehensive strategies that we need to implement, not sudden, but because we're seeing that it's basically you go step by step. I mean that, of course, we know that lockdown is not recommended anymore, but again, sometimes we need to do that as a blunt measure to try to control the spreading of the virus. No, I mean that what we did on Sunday, we are not expecting, as Dr. Cuellar perfectly say, we are not expecting to see changes this week. No.
Okay.
Whatever we have on cases incubating last week, we will see in this week.
So people like me who've been tracking the numbers are saying, it's not down yet.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm being too impatient.
Yeah, I know. Because of the incubation period. No?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean that's one of the important things. I mean that we will see changes probably by the end of the week or beginning of next week. Those.
So let's move into another area of your expertise, which is in treating people with COVID who are in the hospital. Are you seeing a difference in how patients respond to treatment based on their vaccination status? And what are you seeing now that even a year ago is different?
Oh yes. Well, when we we opened our COVID unit basically at the very beginning of the pandemic. And then, of course, at that point, as you remember, when we have meetings, we was very basically trying to understand the ways how the virus behaves, the severity of the condition, and how the people have been affected, and also the tools that we have at that point was very limited, and also in a way in an investigation process. No, 20 months after that, then we have more resources. We have evidence-based treatment. No? I mean that what are the evidence-based treatment at this stage? If you have a mild case of COVID or moderate case of COVID where your oxygen is not being compromised as yet, then you are a candidate to get something that we call it monoclonal antibodies. And the monoclonal antibodies, just to put it in a simple way, it provides give people the ability to have an enhancement of the immune system and give the body the tools to fight the virus. That means that but we need to use it in an early phase where oxygen is not compromised, with patients with mild symptoms. No?
So it's when you provide it that's important.
Yes.
Are we giving this treatment in Belize?
Unfortunately, we don't have it in Belize available. It's very difficult to acquire because, of course, especially the bigger players are taking advantage.
They hug
of
it
that.
all up, right?
Yeah. But this is the first, the evidence-based treatment that we have for mild cases. No? Now, if you're already on a situation where your oxygen levels are basically dropping, your oxygen saturation is 94 or less, then you need to go to the hospital, no? To be assessed. And if your oxygenation is compromised and also your work of breathing is compromised, then and you need to be admitted to the hospital, then there are several choices of evidence-based treatment. Mean that we have other medication that we use that is called the tocilizumab of Actemra is the commercial name, but the tocilizumab. Tocilizumab is also, as we mentioned at the beginning, that when we have COVID, the most critical phase is when you have the overwhelming inflammation.
And inflammation means what? Like swelling of
the inflammation means that the cells, it will release different chemical that it will create inflammation in the cell. And especially the organ initially affected are the lungs. But of course, is a continuing cascade that start with the lungs, but if we are not able to control the inflammation in the lungs, it will basically lead the patients to develop a multi-organ failure, and then when we are in that position is 80% of mortality rate. I mean that it's very difficult to battle, to gain, and to be able to do something with these patients. No? I mean for that, then we have a medication that is called the tocilizumab, that essentially go and trying to stop that pathway of inflammation.
Okay.
Yeah. Dr. Hidalgo, what are your thoughts on the use of ivermectin for treatment?
Well, the ivermectin is a medication that is being in discussion over and over. And unfortunate, until now, we don't have evidence that it will benefit patients.
No.
Wow. So we've seen and we've heard that especially when it comes to patients losing their lives from COVID, doctors are saying that you're going too late to check up. You're going to check up too late to the hospital. What is meant by or at what point should you go in to try and at least save yourself or your family to save you? What is too late?
Yeah, well, the too late is when your oxygen levels are dropping drastically, and the work of breathing is too much. I mean that means that if you oxygenate, everybody knows have a pulse oximeter at home, no? But the numbers that we measure, we consider the readings. Normal is 95 to 100. That is a normal reading. When the pulse oximeter that you have at home start to read 94 or less, then
hospital.
You are in trouble and you need to get in touch with the family physician, the hotline for the Ministry of Health, but you need to get in touch with someone that can guide you, because that is the moment where you need guidance.
Is there any feeling that you can associate with that? Because not everyone does have the oximeter.
Exactly, I was going,
you know, it could be for whatever reason. What would you feel if your oxygen saturation falls?
Yeah, you will feel, if you feel tightness in the chest, you feel that one of the most simple things that you don't need to have any fancy tools is walking for 6 minutes. The 6 minutes walking test, we say, or even going to the bathroom at home. You feel tired, you feel that you have breathing problems, then that is the moment that you say, I need to get in touch with the hospital, I need to call a physician, whatever is more easy, but you need to get attention immediately.
Right. Very important.
Yeah.
Now, I want to bring it back to the idea of treatment. There's a big development taking place globally. We haven't had the chance to discuss it yet, but the company Merck is in the phases of getting approval for a COVID treatment pill. Can you put this into perspective for us for what we know so far and what access will be like and how this could change the pandemic?
Yeah, well, as we know, and we discussed the anti-monoclonal antibodies treatment. Mm-hmm. But the monoclonal antibodies treatment requires for you to go to a clinic and to get a single dosage through the vein. It's a drug that is administered intravenously. Mm-hmm. Now, Merck is developing this antiviral pill that is in the last phase of research. I believe they will send the information of the results of the phase 3 research to the FDA as well as the World Health Organization. And then with that antiviral medication, that is a pill, is more simple to take, it shows a reduction of 50% of hospitalizations as well as 50% of reduction in deaths. Yeah. I mean, that is very promising, and also is an oral medication that is more simple than injections and those things. No?
It's been called the Tamiflu of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Yes.
You know, when the flu used to kill us, this was the treatment that was developed to save more lives. But what are your thoughts on, you know, how soon this could be available, how challenging it'll be for countries like Belize to get access? I mean, looking forward, what would you think would happen?
Well, you know that in a way that is a pill, probably the manufacture and the way how the distribution is going to be more simple in a sense, no? Because with all these drugs that need to be administered intravenously, anti-monoclonal antibodies, is certain precautions and also in handling and delivering the drugs to each country have certain precautions. With pills, probably is going to be more easy in that sense, no? And as well, we imagine also that the technology is not so complicated that with the IV drugs. No?
Okay.
Now, of course, access to the pill, as we know, the big players are already bidding with Merck to trying to grab onto the pill. I mean that
they're going to gobble it up. Yes.
Unfortunately, I don't know how long we need to wait to have access to that.
Yeah.
Mm. What's your advice to people as we're still in the third wave of our COVID-19 battle, I should say, and people are exhausted. They're exhausted of still sacrificing many things that they want to do or want to engage in, and they are struggling to maintain these protocols. I think the hope had always been, as I said a year ago, you get vaccinated and things were going to get back to normal, but we're not there yet. What do you tell people when you hear issues or complaints about still having to do all these things that we're asked to do?
Well, as always say, COVID is a social responsibility, no? And all of us, we need to play our role in a way or another. No? Of course, we know that whatever the government needs to be done, they have already these comprehensive measures. But us as a society also need to be responsible, trying to use the tools that we know already, and even at this we know already. You see some other areas that essentially the people are acting that the pandemic is over. No?
Yeah.
And this is frustrating for especially for those that they are trying to be responsible. No? And then seeing those person acting very irresponsible is frustrating, but we need to continue doing what we are doing. We need to continue what we know that so far is taking us until this point, safe, and also to prevent acquiring COVID.
Yeah. And can I, if people are out there thinking, how do you assess the risks of what to do and what not to do? There are moves to do fully vaccinated spaces, or at least where people have a COVID negative test for public buildings. But then there's also that restaurants can open if all patrons are vaccinated. I mean, is that something you would feel safe doing? What are the risks assessments we should all take into consideration?
Well, you know, as I start, you see that the dynamics of the COVID is different around the world, but if you see that the dynamics of the COVID is different in our country, you know, you see probably Belize City now in certain position, but you have other areas probably that are the COVID is different, the pattern and the behavior is different. And I think so. We need to be responsible. Of course, now, as you know, we need to show our vaccination cards or our tests. But again, most important thing is we need to be responsible, trying to avoid big gatherings. If it's not needed. Again, if we also discuss about the possibility of have those different events, then we need to that everybody wants to have an event, but we need to, first of all, we need to ask ourselves if it's something really needed, and if it's not needed, then we need to say, okay, we need to act responsible, especially right now, to be able to probably in the future to be able to have that luxury to, but still, no, we need to be responsible going out and also prevent big gatherings.
And surfaces are still a big concern, or?
Most of the time right now, we know that the COVID is mainly in the air. No? I mean, that's why we need to make sure or secure that we are in areas with a good ventilation.
Now you really, I mean, you threw a curveball at us at the end of the conversation. But we know in places like Belize City where there are communities that are very close, houses that are very close together. If there is a situation where many people in this neighborhood have COVID, is it a concern if you live in that area? Should you be using your mask more often? Are you at risk just kind of walking home?
Yeah, if in those areas, definitely you need to be more have an extra precaution, trying to wear your mask all the time. No?
Okay.
Especially if you know that there are no good ventilation. No? Okay. And sometimes if like in areas, it's simple as open the windows and allow the air to go through. No?
Well, Doc, I got to say this much. Thank you so much for coming in and answering our questions, because there's so much interesting information that we need to stay up to date with. I know, you published a book about, you were one of the co-authors in talking about treating COVID-19 during this pandemic, and also congratulations.
Thank you.
You are the president-elect of the World Intensive Care Specialist Committee, and you take up that presidency in?
We're right now I'm the president-elect, and then we start the presidency in 2023.
All right. Well, congratulations.
Big congrats to you.
And thank you so much for joining us and sharing all this information with us.
Thank you.
All right. We're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we'll have the personal story of someone who's lost a loved one to COVID-19. So please, stay tuned.
This COVID update was brought to you by Fulltech Systems, your technology center, where you'll come for the price, but stay for the service. Working off-site doesn't mean you have to be off your game. Studies have shown that simply adding a keyboard and mouse to your laptop increases productivity by 26%. Add a monitor, and you'll be 35% more productive. At Fulltech Systems, we have what you need to enhance your remote work or e-learning experience. With devices such as headsets, video conferencing monitors, webcams, keyboards, mice, docking stations, all with the brands you trust. Keep connected with collaboration tools like Microsoft 365 Suite and Kaspersky, and perform efficiently no matter where you are. Fulltech Systems, your technology center, where you'll come for the price, but stay for the service.
My name is Dr. Gabriela Guerra. I am the wife of Dr. Kevin Rafael Guerra and sister-in-law of Dr. Kenneth Raul Guerra. Both of them passed due to COVID complications on December of 2020. My husband was the first one lose this battle on December 12th, and 18 hours later, my brother-in-law Kenneth passed away also. My husband and my brother-in-law, they was a troublemakers, double trouble. They had a lot of friends there and make a jokes and everything every time. They never take us seriously, nothing. They was very generous people, very compromised with their career. We share a lot of good times and memories that actually fill my heart, no? And I live from my memories and the time we share together. The worst thing about lose a loved one, no, due to the COVID, is your loved one be alone, admitted at a hospital, without you, without your cares. You can say bye, you can give the last kiss, you can give the last hug. And that's very painful. I think that's the worst thing. I miss the guy shared with me 12 years of my life, the best ones. I miss my son's father, the guy who played with my son every time and tried to teach football techniques to my son. For the ones maybe out there say the COVID not real, okay? Or pain. And the pain for everyone who lose a loved one. It's real, okay? The struggle is real. If my husband or my brother-in-law, they maybe at that time could have the opportunity to get the vaccine, they will not have a problems to say, I will get it, okay? I will get my vaccine. So if you have this opportunity, take it. I hope my testimony helped to change something in your mind. I'll probably take the best decision the next time when the doctor asks to you if you want to take your vaccine. If you don't want to do it for yourself, try to do it for your family, okay? To be safe, for your country.
Cumpleaños feliz, te deseamos a ti.
We have been a partner with Smart for over 10 plus years. We have a full Smart plan we use as our major driver for our business. We have a service that rolls over in that if you call one and it is busy, it rolls over to the next line. So once you call us, you can get us at any time. Before we got this Smart service, we were paying upwards of nearly $2,000 in phone bills. Since we've had our Smart service, we pay an average of about $600. So we've had tremendous saving, more than 50%. For the businesses, if you want to save money, switch to Smart because it is far more cost effective and the service is excellent.
Smart continues to be innovative in bringing new technology and meaningful savings during these challenging times to businesses across Belize. Sign up for our VoIP technology or broadband packages and save more.
Beltrade is implementing the Building Resilient MSMEs Accelerating Digitization Project with support from the United Nations Development Program. To support the development of an MSME medium-term strategy, digitization of capacity building services, and establishment of a B2B platform that can increase enterprise capabilities to facilitate supply chain and market access and flexibility to continue operating despite the COVID-19 pandemic. PPF Capital Belize Limited is conducting a survey to capture information on how COVID-19 is affecting MSMEs across Belize. Kindly fill out this survey as your input will aid in developing MSMEs interventions that respond to the specific needs of MSMEs in the country. One business owner will be awarded $1,000 for participating. Some restrictions apply. We thank you for your contribution as we remain committed to contributing towards building a resilient MSME environment within Belize. For more information, visit our website at beltrade.bc or call us at 822-3737.
Welcome back to Open Your Eyes. We're moving now into our second segment. And our first segment surrounded COVID-19. Our second is going to be about that as well. But this one is actually with a relative who have lost a loved one from contracting COVID-19. In to talk to us and tell us her story is Alison Mendez. Alison, good morning and welcome.
Good morning, guys. How are you? Happy to have you here today.
Alison, can we just say thank you?
Thank you.
Big thank you. These are tough stories to share. And I know that your mom, Miss Cynthia, recently passed and due to COVID-19. But you've made the decision that you want to speak about your story. Why is that?
Because first of all, the family didn't get vaccinated. We were waiting to see, because we're not afraid, but we were waiting to see what would happen, because a lot of talking saying, oh, if you get vaccinated, this will happen to you, that will happen to you. So everybody was just like waiting around. You know, my mom is a housewife, she don't go much, but I noticed that a lot of young people, when we drive around, we see them socializing without masks, and then when they go home to their parents and to their grandparents, that's when they go and take the virus there, and that's when they get sick and then they struggle and die from it. We young, we can handle ourselves, but our parents, they're in their 50s and 60s, and most of those people are the ones that is dying right now.
Yeah. Since then, have you been vaccinated, or your family?
Well, we can't get vaccinated right now because we just get COVID, and we'll take 90 months to 3 to 6 months before we can go get vaccinated.
Yeah. So Alison, tell us about what it's been like. And the entire family actually contracted COVID. And you said your mom was at home. I know you guys were working really hard to keep her safe. What was it like when you guys first detected that someone had COVID and everyone had to be tested?
Well, it was on the 5th of September. My dad started to experience little symptoms like headache and fever. And then I came here Monday night to sleep, just to spend time with my son, because my son is with my family here. So I decided that, I will take a sleep here with my son. And then what happened is the next day I started to feel funny, and I said, let me go and get tested. So I went to get tested the Tuesday, and that's when I tested positive. And I came home and I said, Mom, Dad, I'm positive, so I guess that, we have COVID. And then I take them to Mates and Robert to get tested, because when you get to find out that when you go to the hospital and you're not tested, they will not take care of you, because they don't want you to be among COVID patients, and they don't know if you have to be in the system. So I went to Mom get tested. She was positive. Dad was positive, and my son is 14 years old, so 4 of us was positive. And then we went quarantine. First day was like, first day was kind of just a day of, headache, a little bit of fever and thing, and Nobody was there to say, okay, you have to take this medicine, you have to take that medicine. You have to figure out and try get information from people because I posted it and everybody was inboxing me and telling me, you have to take this, you have to take that, and it was a lot of medication. So we got as much as we could have, and we also was we take our herbs, and somebody told us to go in the sun every day, so we go in the sun. I take mom and dad in the sun every day, and my mom appetite went no appetite. She was sleeping a lot, and I said, okay, mom, you have to go to the hospital. It was the 17th, so they said it was the 12th for us. And I said, mom, you have to go to the hospital. You must say, no, go. Like, I don't want to go to the hospital. I said, I have to go to the hospital. She don't like hospital. I said, you have to go, So they took, I have a cousin, Anna Pinto. I don't know how to explain this because she was with us the whole time. We had COVID and she went tested and she didn't contract the virus. And she took care of us and she didn't wear masks, she didn't wear gloves, and up to today, she went to take a PCR test, she went to take a COVID rapid test, and she didn't have any kind of COVID, she didn't show any symptoms, but she took care of us here. Maybe that was her guiding angel at the time, but she took mom to the hospital, and I told mom, I said, mom, you have to move back to worry. And in my mind, I wanted to hug her to say it because there was something said hug her and I didn't hug her. And I told my cousin to just take her and we give her the phone and mom get admitted because her saturation was, oxygen level was low. So they admitted her and she went into the hospital. I called her immediately, mom, how are you? She said, I'm cold in here, I'm very cold. And I said, I was sending her stuff for you right now, and I sent stuff, I sent everything for her. That was the one in the hospital. Day 2, the hospital, we tried to call the hospital like 100 times. I called the hospital because she was answering her phone. I guess her phone charger was, I didn't take that, so I think the phone was dead, and then I was calling, and every minute they said, okay, we do updates. We have so many people to deal with. We do updates every 3 to 4 hours. So I call again. They said, okay, we're busy right now. We call, and so that whole day I didn't get to hear anything about my mom. So I sent my cousin and I said, please go and check up my mom. And so they sent her. They said that her lungs were collapsing and she had pneumonia, double pneumonia. And my cousin said that I tell her, please go and buy a charger for my mom, and she went to buy the charger and things tried to talk to my mom. And my mom didn't answer her phone still. They sent the charger, she didn't want to talk on the phone. I don't know why she didn't talk on the phone. I got an update the 20th of September at 10:34 that my mom lungs were gone, no lungs, no kidneys, not peeing, she's not breathing well, and 15 minutes exactly after that, I get back a call and said that my mom, this is Mr. Jamstown family, and I said, yes, my mom just passed.
Yeah, you're there. We're seeing you.
We're still hearing you, yeah.
Yeah, man, very quiet.
All right, we're seeing you. We're hearing you.
What happened just man?
Allison?
Hi, Allison.
Allison, we're still here.
Not hearing.
Okay.
Oh, you're not hearing us?
That's all right.
So, I got a call from the hospital saying that my mom passed, and so I was about to cry. Can you hear me, guys?
Yes,
yeah, we can hear you.
Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, we can
hear you. We can hear you. Go ahead. We can hear you. Allison?
Yes, I'm hearing you. Sorry.
Okay, great.
Okay, yes.
Go ahead.
Yes, and so I got the car, and so I was about to scream. So my dad said, "Alison," because we were like 1 day away from going and to check for all clear. So my dad said, "Alison, please don't cry." He said, I need to be my rock right now, and I need to be your rock." So he said, "Just hug me." So I put in everything inside, and I hugged him, and we walked down the street, and we came back, and he said to call everybody and to let them know. So I started to call my brothers, I called my auntie, everybody, and tell them that my mom made it, and 3 days in the hospital, and that was it. So it was heartbreaking and everything, but I had to be strong at that moment, and I was strong for my family at that time.
Alison, I'm so sorry for your loss, and I think, and again, thank you for sharing your story.
Yeah.
It's been less than 2 weeks, or just about 2 weeks, since your mom passed. What the rest of the family, as you said, your dad said, be strong for you. But one of the things I always ask people when they've lost a loved one to COVID is just, there's losing someone, and then there's losing someone in this way. How would you describe just how hard it is to not see them before they pass? She went to the hospital, and that was the last time you saw her.
Yeah, then, I spent day one, when we found out that we have COVID, I spent day one looking at my mom. Mom, today's day one, mom, today's day two, dad, today's day three, and I work with them. I give them everything. I give my mom everything that I could have done. I did for her, and and day three, and then until the day when she went to hospital. And I know that when we go to the hospital, we're not here, and that is the reason why I'm so hurt at times, because it's like I will look at her and say, I want to hug this woman, I want to hug her, but I said, you know what, I'll have a little faith, my mom will come out. And I said, I just leave her. I let her, and she went to the hospital. And then at the hospital, there was this one nurse that reached out to me, Helen Diego, and she reached out to me because I was upset when they said that they couldn't find my mom's stuff. And so I put it out on Facebook, and she reached out to me and said, "Alison, I will look for your mom's stuff. I will make sure I find your mom's stuff. I'm going to work. I'm going to work the same day that my mom died. My mom died at 10:47, and she was to go to work 11 o'clock. And she said that she was going to video chat with me so that I could see my mom.
Yeah.
And my mom didn't make that 11 o'clock for me to see her. So it's very devastating, and I really want to tell people out there that is taking it slightly. COVID is not a joke. COVID is not to play with. You can't be out there not using your mask and not 6 feet away, and and it's like a trigger when I go out now. It's like a trigger. It's like when I see people like that, I get angry, I get upset, because every day at home, when you have that symptom, it's like something new. Like they have some days that I had vomitings. I can't breathe. I have a bad cough, mucus. Like a lot of every day, it's like I have anxiety because I see my mom not eating. My mom throwing up. My dad can't breathe. There's a night that I went to hospital. My mom left in the room. Nobody there to take care of her but my cousin. Me and my dad went to the hospital because he couldn't breathe. He had So we went to the hospital, and they didn't want to take care of him because they didn't know his status. They don't know if he had, at the time, he didn't test. So they didn't want to take care of him. They didn't want to let him in. So they said, and they checked his saturation, and they said, okay, you are over 90, so you're good. You have to go back home. You can't come in. Then I catch an anxiety attack. Then I went in, and they tell me they can't let me in because I'm not tested. I said, but I already tested. I said, it's not in the system. I said, okay, then, well, they just gave me an injection, and then I had to go home. Me and my dad in the vehicle, 4 or 5 in the morning, trying to just get some air outside of the house. And when we went in, and I could hear my mom asking for us, wanted to see us and want to know if we're okay. Like, so this virus is like attacking every day. Every day there's something. So you can't take it lightly. It's not a joke. My dad, after this whole thing, I take my dad to healthcare partners to check his lungs, My dad had double pneumonia.
Wow.
My dad lungs is damaged, a lot of scar on both of his lungs. He can't even work right now, so I'm here taking care of my family right now. So it's very, very, very hard. So you got to take care of your family, especially your mom and your dad and your grandparents. We could take, well, my lung, I went to take my lung is very clear and everything is good, normal. But with my parents, I could have lost two of my parents, my mom and my dad.
Yeah.
How's your dad doing now?
My dad, every day he's getting a little stronger, but he still can't move around as much because of the breathing. Now he have to have a asthma spray with him. So if he's not feeling too exhausted, he have to use it and use it. So it is very hard for him right now because he's somebody that worked all his life. He's a mechanic. So they tell him, no, you cannot go on the vehicle, you cannot do hard work. No, so you have to take it one day at a time, and he have like about 2-3 months before he could get back to where he is. So it is it's a very, very serious thing. So I want people to know that you have to take care of yourself, please wear your mask, sanitize. Like my dad, when I'm home, every minute I sanitize, every minute I'm cleaning, and my dad is like, Alice, you cannot do that. You cannot do that, but I'm very paranoid now. Like I have to clean everywhere, every minute. Like it's crazy.
Yeah. You did say, Allison, that because you guys have recovered, but not recovered to the point whereby you could go out and get the vaccine. You did say that you guys were skeptical about the vaccine, wanting more information about it. If you're able or eligible to take that vaccine today, would you do it, and why?
Yes, I would do it because although now I have natural antibodies, I noticed that the statistics shows a lot of people that is unvaccinated is dying. Although there are few people that is vaccinated and few people that take one vaccine, the one that is less dying. You know, if you want to take care of yourself, you want to have a long life, I would suggest people out there to go and take the vaccine, especially if you're 50 plus, 40 plus, please take it. They're the one that is suffering a lot from it.
You know, Allison, you are one of over 400 people in this country that have to grieve the loss of a loved one due to COVID. What's your message to people? I know we're all tired of hearing, thinking, talking about COVID. You know, whether you're vaccinated or not vaccinated, people are sparring against each other over that decision. For someone who has paid the ultimate price, what do you want to say to the public?
Before I even mention that, I even want to mention that after my mom passed, which is 28, my dad's best friend, his wife, one of my mom's best friends, she got sick. She used to send us food and stuff. She got sick, and when she heard that my mom passed, she went hospitalized the 21st. And yesterday we went to her funeral. So she died 10 days after my mom. So to tell you that it hit home, it hit the closest people to you. So it's something to tell everyone that is not sick as yet. So you guys have to be very, very, very vigilant. You have to sanitize. You have to take care of yourself out there. Like I said, I can't say it anymore. You know, COVID, the good ones like your mom, the closest people to you. You have to take care of yourself. You have to wear your mask properly. Stop being around just having your mask under your chin and then you're talking close to someone and drinking and smoking with each other, and that is very wrong. And yesterday I was out in the yard and I saw my neighbors there hanging out, drinking and smoking and close, and it triggered me. You have to take care of yourself. I can't say it anymore. Please protect yourself out there. If you look yesterday, there was 57 people that is in the hospital, and the doctor cannot talk to everyone at the same time. They cannot take care of everybody at the same time. So when your people go to the hospital, that's it. You're not going to hear from them. You're not going to see them. May God be with them when they're in there, because hard for them to take care of everyone. And a lot of people is dying. So please, everyone, take care of yourself. I lose my mom, my best friend, my everything. I'm my mom only daughter, and she's like everything to me. And so I didn't get. And let me tell you, when your people pass away from COVID, you're not going to see them in no.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah,
Yes.
you have a call again.
Well,
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can hear you.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you. It takes a few minutes for the audio to come back, but Allison, we can still hear you.
Hear me?
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, I just want to get this out real quick. People that, if your people die from COVID, you have 24 hours to bury them. So if you don't have money, I don't know how people do it. You have to have money in 24 hours to bury your loved one. You cannot dress them. You cannot put clothes on them. They put them in a body bag. They will sanitize the body bag, put them in a casket, lock it down, so you're not going to see your loved one during the funeral. You don't know who's in the back, and that's it.
Yeah.
So it's a heart-wrenching process you have to go through after the funeral. I mean, after your parent or the person that you love died. So you got to think about all these things, and you got to really, really take it up a notch and take care of your family and your friends and your family, please.
Yeah. Wow.
Whew.
We're lost for words here, Allison, because what you're telling us is actually the reality of what the situation is. And you felt it firsthand, and they say, he who feels it knows it. But you're right, 24 hours is when you've got, is the time allotted for you to
hours. And
yes.
The only reason I get another day was because 21st was a holiday. And I tell them, please, look, I can't bury my mom right now because I have to get the money from credit union. So please give me another day. And that is Mr. Tina. Yes, she was the board person, and she told me, okay, you can. I will give you the other day. And even when the person for you died, you have to go and pay the bill. You have to go pay some of the money from the bill. And my mom was in there for 3 days, and the bill was high. And you have to put some money towards that for you to get the death certificate. Wow. So you have to pay more fee. You have to do a lot of things. So it is not easy. You know, we wasn't prepared for all of that. But thank God my mom and my dad had a savings. They had their savings at the credit union, and you know, because my mom used to work, and we went to Social Security, and they told us that they couldn't find anything about my mom, so we didn't get any money from Social Security. Wow. So it was only from credit union. That's how we get to bury your mom, and thanks to family and friends who helped as well. Yeah. And so if you don't have family that will take care of you guys and things when you're quarantined, because nobody didn't give us groceries or anything, no government or nobody. So it was family who came here every day. My brother and my cousin, they came and they brought medication, they brought stuff for us every day. We drink soup for 15 days. 15 days we drink for every day. So, you know, you have to have that family support as well. If you don't have that family support as well, it's gonna be harder for you emotionally and physically. So you have to take care of yourself out there.
How old was Cynthia?
My mom was 56 years old, and my mom used to exercise every day. My mom didn't have any problem. Like, my mom was a healthy person, but she had borderline with sugar, but wasn't diagnosed and said that when my mom had sugar, she was borderline with it.
But besides that, you're also telling us that your dad is recovering slowly.
Yes, he's recovering slowly, and he's getting there, and emotionally, because my mom and my dad was together for 46 years. They spent together. They didn't marry, but they spent a lot of lifetime together, and so you know, for him, he lost his mom already. You know he lost his wife and his best friend wife. So it's hard for him, and so every day you keep talking to him and, trying to get his understanding. Because, with many, they don't cry. You can see that he's emotionally hurt as well, but he's a very strong man, and I look up to him every day, and he gives me strength, and I give him strength.
Yeah.
So I thank God for that.
All right.
Allison, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. I know you are extremely passionate about having people know and face the realities of what COVID-19 is like.
I want to say happy birthday to my son as well. Today is 15 years old, and today is his first birthday with his grandmother. He was crying and he said that he can't believe his grandmother died, but she's with us, so I want to say happy birthday to Carmen.
All right.
All right. Allison, all the best to you and your son.
And please take care of yourself. Please do take care of yourself.
All right, Allison. Allison Mendez, have yourself a lovely day, and just continue with the strength that you've got. You motivated us to at least be closer to our loved ones. It doesn't matter how close or far they are to us. It's best to love each other. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. We're about to take our break. When we come back, we'll be diverting a bit. This one is going to be about vegan bites. We'll be preparing some delicious cuisine and also share with us the health benefits of going vegan. We'll talk about that when we come back. Stay with us.
What kind of life would that be? Oh, I need you in my arms, need you to hold. You're my only reason. You're my only truth.
I need you like water, like breath, like rain. I need you like mercy from heaven's gates. There's a freedom in your arms that carries me through. I need you.
I don't need a lot of things. I can get by with nothing. With all the blessings life can bring, I've always needed something.
Hello, friends. This is Dr. Bob Roberts with another 60-second sermon from God's Word. The Bible says, "My heart is fixed, O God, my heart is fixed. I will sing and give praise." Today we live in a mixed-up, confused world. There's trouble in the government, in the schools, in the churches, in the homes, and many lives. But there is hope. I read a most encouraging story of a young crippled college student attending college with the assistance of crutches. Although he was not a handsome fellow, he had a talent for friendliness and optimism, and he earned many scholastic honors, as well as the respect of his classmates. One day a new student asked him what had caused him to become so badly crippled. He calmly replied, "Infantile paralysis." His fellow student exclaimed, "With a misfortune like that, how can you face the world so confidently and so happily?" "Oh," replied the polio victim, "the D's never touch my heart." That young fellow identified the source of most of our problems. It is a heart problem. Jesus said in the last days men's hearts would be failing them for fear, with apprehension of world conditions, and literally with the heavenly bodies being shaken and strangely affected. No wonder Jesus said in John 14, "Let not your hearts be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me." The psalmist David found an answer for his troubled heart. It was a confident, steadfast, erect, unmovable, and unswerving faith and fixed heart in a holy God. He chose not to be controlled by fear, but to have a fixed heart for a confused world. Today's 60-second sermon has been presented by Christian Foundations of Faith in cooperation with the Baptist churches in your area.
Imagine going through your entire day without the burden and risk of carrying cash on you. Belize's shift to digital wallets has begun. With eCash, we can now skip the cash when collecting money or paying for our essentials, all while using a fast, easy, and secure platform. Simply add funds to your wallet via bank transfer or at an agent, and you're good to go. You will be able to make quick, easy payments simply by scanning QR codes. And best of all, it all happens just like that. Payments are as easy as clicking a link online or scanning a QR code. Download the eCash app from the Google Play and Apple App Store today and take your first step into a cashless lifestyle. The future is here with eCash. For more information, visit www.e-cash.com or contact us via WhatsApp at 613-0257 to find out more.
Es un hecho. Únicamente con Smart obtienes todo realmente ilimitado. Solo con Smart obtienes datos ilimitados en cualquier momento. Mientras que con el otro proveedor solo son datos dobles los fines de semana. Con datos ilimitados todos los días no hay necesidad de esperar, así que es un hecho que nuestros planes ilimitados superan a la competencia. Por lo tanto, no permita que le digan cómo y cuándo usar sus datos y obtenga llamadas, mensajes de texto y datos ilimitados. Vive la verdadera experiencia de planes ilimitados con Smart. Es un hecho. Haga el cambio y viva Smart.
The TV you love is always with you, from live TV, sports, and on-demand titles. Choose your plan today. Plans start as low as $15 per month. My TV, entertainment, anytime, anywhere.
Hello, welcome to Samsung's awesome experience right here in Belize. Come check it out. Not sure which Samsung Galaxy A series is right for you? Touch, play, and learn about your device before you buy. Once you've purchased your device, you can now benefit from the full Samsung service experience. Your phone is covered by a 1-year local warranty. This includes manufacturer defects and software and hardware issues caused by the manufacturer. Enjoy your phone with peace of mind knowing that your Galaxy is protected. And when your warranty expires, you can still bring it to our certified Samsung Repair Center. Our technicians will diagnose and repair your device with Samsung original parts and machinery. Enjoy the Samsung experience when you shop at any of our authorized partners countrywide, including Cellular World, Digi, Odette's Home Center, Debari, Quartz, Shopligas, Gadgets, and Cellular Plus. Join the Samsung experience in Belize today.
And we're back. Just like that, we're back and we're moving into our third and final segment for the morning. Now, this one is all about being vegan and how you can fix it, what you can fix. Vegan Bites will be in to prepare with us some vegan food. Chef, or actually Rasruben.
Chef Rasruben.
Yeah, Chef Rasruben. Good morning. And of course, Dr. Mendes is in with us as well.
Dr.
He's vegan. Medina. Oh my goodness. Let's get it right. Let's get it right. Dr. Medina, Ras, Ruben, good morning to both of you. Nice to have you in.
Yes, good morning.
Nice.
Yes, hello.
Well, here we are. I think one of the things that a lot of people are focusing on this pandemic is how they can eat healthier.
Yeah.
And we know, and Doc, you can fill in these gaps for us, for sure, incorporating vegan meal or shifting to a vegan lifestyle is considered healthier. You've been a vegan for 26 years.
26,
Wow.
yeah.
Tell us what made you make that shift.
Yeah.
Well, there could be a lot of reasons, right? Health reasons, environmental reasons, spiritual reasons, and also, you know, for the animals.
Yeah.
So for me was...
Which one was it for you?
Yeah.
For me it was
All of
more
the
of
above.
compassion toward the animals, but eventually I understood more about the health benefits.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for you, Ruben, you said you're 20 years
Yes.
vegan.
Yes. Well, for me, Rastafari led the way. So,
Yeah.
being Rastafari, we began to eat more healthy from the onset, you know. First, I was more like a pescatarian, and then I really understood that even fish, you know, can cause hazard to you and to the environment. People, right now, the fishes are in depletion, so we have to be more aware of what we're doing, you know, and the benefits of what we're doing. So that's why I choose this lifestyle, because I think that the long-term benefits it outweighs everything. You know, so.
But what's the breakthrough? Like how what's that? Like making that breakthrough or going vegan? Because you have you leave meat, everything that has to do with animals.
So the benefits,
Animal products.
Yeah,
when
animal
you make
products.
that switch, the first thing you're gonna have is mental clarity.
Yes.
Very strange, right? But actually you think clearly. Other benefits is you start to feel lighter, more energy, you sleep less. And all of those problems, maybe that you had arthritis or maybe asthma or some skin conditions like acne, start to disappear.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
But you said sleep less. But it is said that you must get enough sleep or a lot of sleep.
Exactly. But when you eat meat, when you eat animal products, your digestive
more
system is more effort.
It's working
so
harder.
it works harder, and then you have to sleep more to try to compensate, try to get some energy. But when you eat lighter, you need less sleep because you have more, you have more energy. Your digestive system does not work so hard, right? So you digest quicker, and less effort, and you reap more benefit.
So I'm going to come back to that, but I see Ruben doing a whole lot over
go
here.
on,
So
do
we
it.
cut the sweet pepper, the onion, and is that callaloo?
This the callaloo.
But it's blanched?
All right. This that's why I bring it like this. Callaloo. This is how I meet it the market.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
When you meet it the market, there's a lot of people who know how to cook callaloo. Well, I do it callaloo, so I choose to talk about callaloo today because callaloo have a lot of health benefits that people don't really realize. First thing I would have done is saute a little bit of onion, and then I would have put in the callaloo.
Okay. We notice your oil of choice is coconut oil.
Because we did a Belize, this is one of the most, you know them Andaman coconut oil in the 80s, and in the 90s, a lot of more studies get done, and they prove to you that Belize, especially Belize virgin coconut oil, how we get it, how we make it, you understand?
Yeah.
It has a lot of benefits. So I choose to use coconut oil because of the taste.
Okay.
This is how you get the callaloo when you buy it at the market. I would have thrown a little bit of hot water. You pick it, make sure you don't have none of the seeds them, no bad leaf, and then you put it in a bowl and throw some hot water on it.
Right.
I'm praying for bubble while we're talking.
So what's on the menu today? Let's find out.
Today is I'm making some mushrooms and some callaloo.
Okay.
Both of them good for diabetes, hypertension, and it helps fight off cancers. The cancers with the airway.
What did you just add?
Some seasoning.
Okay.
You know.
Garlic seasoning.
Yeah. Make it taste a little way. Let's put the seasoning on your choice, really.
So Ruben, we know that you have,
cook the mushroom.
wow, look at those. Did you grow those? I love mushrooms.
No, I can't grow mushrooms. I wish I did. These are imported. These are something local, something imported, you know.
I love mushrooms.
Yeah, when you cook the mushrooms, you just cook it on low heat.
Low heat.
Yes, and you cover it, make
Right.
it, make it.
Alright.
Right.
Alright.
The callaloo is a little bit different.
So let me come back to it for a moment. Ruben, you have vegan bites, well, you have takeout food.
Yes.
A food shop, sorry, at Detail Park in Belize City.
Yes.
Over the years, we've had you on the show a few times. Have you found more people trying out vegan food?
Well, all the time. You know, with all the information that that's out there now, there's a lot more people aware of veganism. You know.
Yeah.
But I have like my steady customer base. You know.
Like Dr. Medina, that's how you find me.
Yes, this is one of my
customer.
Yes.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Because as awareness make you awareness make you attracted to this. So the more people become aware, the more people come out to support.
Okay.
You know, because of the health benefits, like I said, you know, we don't just cook the food, but we prepare the medicine, because the food's supposed to be a medicine.
Your nutrients,
So
your
if
food
you
is
eat,
your source of nutrients for your body.
if you eat
Food is
to
your
live,
medicine, actually. Yeah.
yes.
Food is your medicine.
But your food is also your poison. So this is the awareness we're trying to bring to Belizean people. A lot of Belizean people, they're overweight. A lot of them they face diabetes, hypertension, you know. So this are the way to reverse these things. This help reverse
now that
a lot
we're in
of
the
stuff.
pandemic, you know, COVID-19, and one of the things that make people get severe symptoms and actually die is, you know, inflammation in the body, dying from thrombosis, right?
Yeah.
So one of the things is the difference between animal products versus a whole full plant-based diet is inflammation. That's the key word, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So animal products, yes, they have a lot of nutrients, but it comes with a high cost.
Yeah.
Because it causes a lot of inflammation in the body. So this inflammation will lead to arthritis, diabetes, hypertension, right? So when you go into a whole food plant-based diet, no animal products, all that inflammation starts to go down. Vegetables have a lot of anti-inflammatories, right?
Yes.
A lot of antioxidants like mushrooms. So all these diseases will revert, right? Now in medical school, we're taught that diabetes cannot be cured. But actually, there's a lot of research that when you go into a plant-based diet, diabetes, hypertension reverses. And the only kind of diet that reverses these chronic diseases.
If you adapt the lifestyle entirely, not a vegan meal here or there.
Well, this is proportional. The more you do plants, the less meat your health will increase, right?
So I want to come back to that, because I wanted to say, you know, we all know, everybody knows from a 5-year-old, vegetable and fruits are good for us. But we've learned to eat differently. And so it still is a process for people to move towards plant-based diets. But a key part in it is it's meeting all your nutritional needs. Tell me about that process for you, because there are deficiencies you can have if you don't learn how to do it properly.
Exactly. If you go into a whole plant-based diet, you need to do your research and get all the varieties so you get all your nutrients. Right?
Eat everything.
Because some people go vegan, right? Some people go vegan, but they are the junkie.
They're
really vegan. They just avoid meat, animal products, but they eat sweets and all of these things, right? So they don't eat much vegetables and fruits. So those are the vegans that get sick, right? So now the term is now more used, plant-based diet, because you want to include as much vegetables and fruits in your diet, and they stay away from animal products. That's basically the principle of the diet.
Okay. And is it expensive to go vegan?
I think that.
Dr. Mirat.
I could imagine when you first moved here, he was like a savior.
So savior.
Is it expensive? Like,
to be honest with you, right? That's why I began to think about this venture, Vegan Bites, right? Because I have children. I want them to eat healthy, but they don't have no choice. You understand? So they have to eat what Belize they provide. So I said, if I would start something like this, one, I'll be able to feed my children healthy choices, and then two, I want to be able to make stuff affordable to Belizean people, at least equal to one normal plate of food, rice and beans, chicken and salad. So the Vegan Bites I provide any three of the vegetables there, or I have meat substitute, soybean, I have beans and brown rice with an array of vegetables every day.
Cafeteria style, so people select their
select.
size. What?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like that.
Any
So
three things for $8.
Protein.
$8.
Yeah.
You could get one thing for $3 per serving. Stuff like the mushroom costs a little bit more because this is not from Belize. Right? So I have stuff that do cost more naturally because of the baseline cost. But I try to make everything as affordable as possible because I'm aware of the times we're in, and I'm aware of the competition with bad food. And I want you have to make a choice between money and health. So I try and make it as affordable as possible. I have parties for $2 king. You understand? So I try to make everything what I do that the average person could afford it. One child could afford it. Children when just start to work the call center in 18, 19, 20, they don't have a big bank account for their lunch. They can just eat out $10 out of them pay every day. You understand? And more so, I try to make stuff as affordable as possible.
But it will be cheaper in the long term.
Because you don't have to
because if you get sick, all the money you save is going to go to the doctor, right? All the money is going to go to the hospital.
So give us the inside scoop, Dr. Medina. What's your favorite meal that you usually pick up from Ruben? What's your favorite combination?
Veggies, that includes broccoli, cauliflower.
Bring that through.
I love mushroom, beans. I love the beets. Let me see, which is the other one?
You like the soy products?
No, I don't do much of the soy products.
Okay.
I do mostly,
What's your
rice,
main source
beans.
of protein? Because that's one that people think is hard to replace.
Well, this is the thing, I don't think. I don't. Plants is the source of protein, right? So if you see the chain of animals eat plants to get the protein, and then we eat the animal, but actually all plants have protein. How much protein you need? That's the question, right? Because I mean, if you worry about protein, have you ever seen protein deficiency here? And I mean, it doesn't exist. So that is a myth. About the protein, you need a lot of protein and all this, a myth.
And we've got a lot of plants and all this.
All those plants, a variety of plants. That's enough protein for you to, beans.
And one of my favorites going into that wrap now. We got some
guacamole,
avocado.
Wow. All right.
There's a misconception about avocado. People actually avoid avocado because it's too fatty.
Really?
Right?
Yeah, but this is the good fat.
That's the good fat. That's right. Yeah.
So people eat a lot of meat, but they avoid avocado. So there's a lot of misconceptions out there.
But it's so. How do you help somebody? Somebody says, "I want to try it." Now, if you have grown up on a diet of fried chicken, rice and beans, all judgment aside, this is what we eat. There's fried jack and whatnot, and with canned meat. So how do you make that adjustment? What are some of the suggestions to people how to ease their way into a plant-based diet?
I think it will be more adding
Yeah.
Adding more plants into your diet slowly, and it's not easy. I mean, it's very, very hard for anyone to do that shift.
Yeah.
So it really has to come with a really
So you have some willpower, mind power. It has to be.
Yeah, because remember, you're fighting 20, 30 years of habit.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Right.
your
That's
palate is developed for it already.
Exactly. So
yeah.
there's a conversation at with my colleagues, when people I work with, they're eating the chicken and
Yeah.
they're trying hard to put more vegetables in their plate, but I can see the struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not that easy. So to me, when you have children, you need to really set the example.
Yeah.
Try
Get
to
it
see
early.
if I can make that shift. But it's not that easy.
And, you know, they just have to go to Vegan Bites and get one of
Get
these
something
meals,
else, yeah.
realize the other big misconception. That's not going to fool me. I can't just eat greens and get full. What do you say to that?
Give me some food, tell us.
Ruben's like, you know, eat at my place yet.
Illusion. That's because this is how we have been trained to eat.
Yeah.
And a part of this training, I think we have to undo.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the discipline that Doc is telling you about. So, undoing something like that, it takes time naturally, but it takes an effort really. You know?
Doctors know, and I think people know in a way. Think about it, when people are diagnosed with cancer, what's the first thing the doctor tells you?
Change your eating.
Change your diet.
Everything that happens to you, they tell you change your eating.
Everything. Eat more vegetables and avoid all animal products.
Yeah.
That's the first thing they tell you when you're diagnosed with cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's some of it there indeed. All right, it's on.
Yeah.
Yes.
But in a lot of studies, 90% of all cancers is come from
No,
the
that's
meat.
good.
I'm gonna cut it out and let you guys try it.
All right, yeah.
If you want some more, I'll make another one.
All right, let me show you what these mushrooms look like. Who's ready? Yeah.
There you go. Look at that.
Wow.
What is the favorite dish that you sell? What's your most popular dish, Ruben?
Pasta and cassava patties are like those are like the must-have.
Your cassava patties are meant to be like what people would get as a beef patty, right?
No, these are some nuggets.
Okay.
There's like some chicken nuggets.
Oh, they're like chicken nuggets.
Yes, they're like chicken nuggets. So that's why people like more attracted to it, because it has like a taste that reminds their brain of something they like, you know.
So what's on the menu today?
And today is tamales day. Today is quinoa and tamales are my specials today. And I have beets, a beet salad, steamed veg, kalalo. I have barbecue soy.
Barbecue soy?
Yeah. And vegan beef and broccoli.
Ooh.
Yes.
What? So
Yes.
vegan as in no animal
No
products.
animal
So that's
product.
also a key thing. There's vegetarian, there's pescatarian, there's the ones that eat eggs, don't eat eggs, some eat milk, not milk.
Yes.
At least with vegan it's a bit easier. No animal products.
It's stages. It's stages
Yeah.
of awareness. You know,
Okay.
when you become aware, maybe you have already developed a like for something.
Yeah.
Right. So you will have to hold on to that for a while until your mind has grown enough to understand that it's doing you more harm than good. And this is what I would want to tell my believers and people, like this time right here, right, that we right now, where you see everybody frantic and panicking, right? These are the best time for you to become aware of your health, and for you change something, at least one thing about your diet, adjust at least one thing. No wait for a doctor, somebody outside of you, tell you that you need to change something where you fully aware of.
Yeah.
You understand? So even if it's just cutting back on that sugary drink where I drink every day, or cutting back on the salty food and then starchy food, try eat less starch, more vegetables. You understand? And balance. Even if you give up a meal, you understand?
You start with one meal.
One meal, you understand? So it will help curb some of the problems there where you would face, because all the way to face some kind of issues, you know, even if they're a pimple, you have a problem. So it's an awareness. Your skin got like your first brain, it tell you what happened, you know. Your first reaction, you touch something hot, you pull back right away. You understand? So your skin tells a lot. All this stuff, kalalo and mushroom, is good for your skin, your hair, You understand?
Yeah.
It's good for your bone. It have a lot of calcium in it,
Yeah.
Yep.
potassium. You understand? And
I think, you know,
it's
one
just
of the things,
beneficial.
especially since you gentlemen have been doing it for so long, it's interesting, I guess, when people do make the shift now, because it's become a lot more popular.
Yes.
One of the first things everybody says is that your body feels different. Instantaneously.
Right away.
Yeah.
So I think that's an interesting one. But I like your suggestion, Ruben. One meal at a time. Where we think about changing everything all at once.
Yeah, no,
it's like recipe for failure.
Yes.
But
It's
one
yeah,
thing
bring
at a time.
awareness is just to bring awareness.
Yeah.
You are when you do that, you are bring more awareness to your body.
Yeah.
And your body also bring more awareness to your brain.
Yeah.
So you will start to think more about what you to do and their long-term
You wanna
benefits.
live
where you
long,
want.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Everybody
that's no
wants
secret.
And I don't mind
Vegans live
I want to
longer.
live long and healthy.
Yeah.
That's key for me. Yeah.
So vegans live longer and healthier.
Yes,
Well,
yes,
yes.
exactly.
Yes.
All right. So thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
coming in.
Bless
This, what do you call this?
This is
Let's see here.
wrap, but
I'll
it's
bring it.
more like a flat.
It's a what? It's a flat.
Yes.
You overstuffed it for us, right? Because you
But
know,
that's like a new design. that I want
this
to
is
do.
how I make it at home.
Yes.
So yeah.
It's easy.
Where you can't even wrap it. I won't tell you what's inside.
All right,
All
so that's
right.
Ruben. Thank you, along with Dr. Medina. Thank you guys so very much. Very enlightening. And make sure that you check out Vegan Bites. Get yours. Very reasonable.
So ready
excellent,
to
guys.
sample.
Thank you so very
All
much.
right.
All right.
Thank you.
Bless the Lord.
All right, so we're about to take our final break in the morning. When we come back, we'll be wrapping things up. Stay with us. Open your eyes. Continue when we
He
come
doesn't
back.
want to behave.
Oh, man.
Vaccines protect you and they protect me. Getting vaccinated is one of the most important things you can do to keep yourself and your family safe and healthy. Once enough people are immunized, opportunities for an outbreak of disease becomes very low. And if we all choose to get vaccinated, we contribute in getting back to spending quality time with our loved ones in a safe way.
Life can be tough when a loved one suddenly departs. Dependents of the deceased are sometimes left alone to pick up the pieces and may be stranded financially. Fortunately, the Social Security Board provides survivor's benefit to ease the burden. Survivor's benefit is paid to a widow or widower, children under 18 years, or up to 21 years if attending school, or dependent parents. A survivor's benefit can be either a grant or a pension. Want to know more about Survivor's Benefit? Visit our website or contact any of our offices to have someone assist you. Also, be sure to visit our Facebook page and give us a like to stay informed. Social Security Board, safeguarding you, your family, your future.
Hey son, how was your first day at sixth form?
Really cool. It was great to see my friends, and I really love my teachers.
I'm so happy to hear that. I'm sorry I wasn't there for your first day, but I'll be back from Corozal next week.
It's okay, Dad. I can't wait to see you. Oh, and please remember, I still have some books I need to purchase.
Ah, yes. Let me e-cash you that right now. Money has been sent. I add a little extra cash just for you.
Whoa, Dad. Thanks. Got it.
You're welcome, sir.
Download the eCash app today and take your first step into a cashless lifestyle. For more information, visit www.e-cash.com or contact us via WhatsApp at 613-0257. eCash, the future is here.
Bringing people together has always been SMART's mission and passion. That is why we are proud to have built a locally independent quality network from the ground up that spans the country with over 100 sites. We continue to add more affordable mobile data packages, broadband speeds, and voice services to meet your personal and business needs. Smart has set the standard of true competition with the most competitive prices on all services offered. We invite and welcome you to join the Smart family, where the value for your dollar matters. Smart will continue bringing new technologies, more affordable prices, network expansions, and people together. Smart, bringing people together.
And we're back. Okay, so let's fill you in on the joke. I think Ruben is a bit amazed at that. Ruben said, what did he think it was going to taste like?
No, because I really, you know, I never had, well, I mean, we had people on the show and we've done, but I've never had like the callaloo and the avocado, and I've never had that mixture.
Yeah.
But it literally tastes just like your regular turkey at home with your regular this and your regular that and whatever meat you like. That's what it tastes like to me. Yeah. Honestly, like.
Yeah. No, I think, and Ruben, I think what he does is he takes the guessing work out of it for everybody, because not everybody wants to sit at home and try to figure out how do I make a meal that everybody wants that doesn't include animal product. You could just go and pick it up. I love that he says he's keeping it affordable for everyone, and the fact that you can get options. So when you go and buy a plate or send somebody for a plate, you tell them what you want, and you go from there.
And that's it. And you know, and so I really and truly could appreciate exactly what he's got. And so Vegan Bites, look, what they call it, electric. We've got to make it there, because honestly, what he has here is very good. The coconut oil just explodes. Oh my goodness, this is great.
I think you have a new customer now, Ruben.
Well, I want to touch down the electric.
All right, but we want to say thank you to all our guests today. Let's say thank you to Dr. Dalgo for coming in and helping us understand more about breakthrough infections, why vaccinated persons are getting COVID and getting severely ill. Please remember, if you are a high-risk person, even if you're vaccinated, take absolute care, because we are still seeing cases of COVID-19 throughout the country. Indeed. And definitely you got to keep on taking care of yourself. And Allison, or second guest, drove that point home.
Yeah, she drove that point home. Her family was actually skeptical about getting the vaccine. They wanted more information. At the same time, there was a breakout within her family, and Allison lost her mom. And it was not too long ago. As a matter of fact, I think about a couple of weeks ago. And the family is still grieving from that. Of course, she still have got her father next to her, but he's lost his best friend. You know, the story out of that, or the learning from that, Marlene, is that don't take anything for granted. If you know that you need to go on out to take that vaccine, then go on out. And try to make better of yourself with respect to your health. Yeah. Exactly where we want to go. Right here with saying, once again, a big thank you to Ruben.
Yeah, I know. You know, we really did a terrible job with that cooking segment. We didn't ask him any tips on how to cook it, but here's what you do. You go to Vegan Bites at BTL shop, and you can ask him directly how long you cook the callaloo and how long you cook the mushroom.
I've got something in my mind. I've got something.
We wanted to eat.
Indeed. So thank you guys so very much for all the guests who joined us this morning. Thank you so very much. But like we always mention, Marlene, this show is not possible without you. Every morning you wake up, you open your eyes, and you start your morning right here with us. If you've got any questions, any concerns, drop us a line at oye@channel5belize.com.
You can also find us on Facebook at Open Your Eyes BZ and on Instagram at OYEBelize.
Then you can join us again tomorrow when you open your eyes
to start your morning right.
And as per usual, keep your eyes, your minds,
and your hearts open. We'll see you soon. Enjoy your day, please. Woo.
How do I get through one night without you? If I had to live without you, what kind of life would that be? Oh, I need you in my arms, need you to hold. You're my only reason. You're my my only truth.
I need you like water, like breath, like rain. I need you like mercy from heaven's gates. There's a freedom in your arms that carries me through. I need you.
I don't need a lot of things, I can get by.
Open Your Eyes was brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.